Welcome to video commentary on Either Or. We are recording from the indoor studio tonight, and I will need everyone to be very, very quiet. Otherwise, our four-legged friends will decide that perhaps they would like to participate. So I may have to whisper at times, and I hope that's okay. Also joining us tonight is the iced tea provided by Lipton, our sponsor tonight. And you will see it is in what appears to be a pint glass. And I say appears to be because many years ago, I decided I needed pint glasses and ordered a large number in bulk. And much to my chagrin, my British pint glasses arrived, and they were stamped at the bottom. In fact, they still are stamped at the bottom with made in France. So I can only imagine the expression on the faces of my British friends thinking that I am drinking from a royal pint glass made in France. So having said that, let's jump right into the chapter and commentary. I don't want to take you through what happened in the chapter. It's pretty simplistic. Kara is waiting. Raj goes in to meet with Yul, and that's basically what happens. He comes out and he has two words to say: either or. What I want to do in this commentary is explore what may or may not have happened in that room. Either or was written to be purposely ambiguous simply because I don't know what Yul said to Raj. Typically when I'm writing a chapter, I try to the best of my ability to put myself into the shoes of that particular character. I try to see things from their point of view, how they might feel, how they might react based on what I know about them. And right now I've been unable to put myself in Yul's shoes. I've not been able to mentally go to that place to imagine what it might be like if I had been her and Raj had made the decision that he made. And so it's difficult for me to realistically write that chapter, to, I think with any sense of credibility, lay out the conversation or even lay out the reaction where it is what I would call sincere, engaged, legitimate conversation where the reader goes, I could see that happening. One of two things happened, and either or, the ambiguousness of it is she could have simply stated the argument, it was either me or it was Kyra, and you made the choice and it was not me, so there's the door. Now, we know he was in there for an hour. It doesn't take an hour to say that. So I'm not quite certain that's exactly what may or may not have happened. But that's one conclusion that the conversation could have taken. We see Raj comes out and there's a tear. And I would caution the reader that the tear, there are two types of tears. There are happy tears and there are sad tears. And we don't know yet if the tears that Raj had in his eyes when he walks out and he says either or were happy tears or not happy tears. It's the assumption that they were quote unquote not happy tears. I think that's where we go, or that's where the reader would go. Perhaps the most natural conclusion that you would reach if you had seen the scene. He comes out. There's a sense of it being perhaps a little over dramatic, but then again, these are very dramatic moments. It's not every day that an event like this occurs, that a meeting like this occurs, that a relationship is put in, quote unquote, the difficulty that Raj's decision put this relationship under. So, so there's a little artistic license in perhaps making it just a little more dramatic than perhaps it would have been in quote unquote real life. So that's one outcome. She simply said either or, and you made your choice. There's the door. Now, The other option, the other option, which is still open, which is the one that I would hope and I would like and I would want in a fairy tale way to have occurred, is that through this encounter with death that Yul had, where the event itself changes her. She's able to take the high road, the higher ground, and either or means it doesn't have to be either or. We don't have to break things into this and that. I don't have to take the position that you either chose me or you chose to go on the rescue mission for Kyra. And that sort of conceptual thinking of breaking things into boxes in which we label them is a limitation that creates the mental prisons that we all erect and that we all live within. I think all of us, to one degree or another, define ourselves with words, with labels, with titles. I'm a mother, I'm a father, I'm a brother, I'm a son, I'm a boss, I'm a worker, I'm educated, I'm this, I'm that. And we have a long list of labels, and every one of those labels, for lack of a better way to put it, is like a fence. And we live inside of them. And as long as we live inside of our labels, we live a very constricted life. And we miss opportunity. And our eyes have blinders and we don't see. Because what we see is our images, and we don't see the thing itself. We see our idea of the thing. So the hope is that perhaps through this very dramatic event, Yul determines or is able to rise to the position where she can see the bigger picture. And she's able to go to that place where she can tell Raj, it's not a case of either or. It's not a case of you can have your cake or you can eat it. But we can step back and we can see from a different vista. And when Raj walks out of the room, it is possible that his demeanor, which Kyra has described as non-Raj-like, stiff, statue-like, face is stoned, or stone-like, I should say, and there's the tear. And he's only able to utter a couple words as if he's in a state of shock. So it could very well be that the opening of her heart was such a magnanimous, I cannot pronounce the word. It was such a large gesture that he's literally stunned. Because keep in mind, we know that he went in there with his defenses up. We know that he was expecting the worst. He knew that he had made a choice. He was in the either-or thinking or mode or frame of mind going into that room. And so he had expectations of what was probably going to happen. So the possibility that Yul did something very different, which was perhaps embrace him and to educate him and to take him to a place mentally inside of her heart, to touch a part of his heart that had not been touched before in a very un-Yul-like way, literally could be a shocking or stunning turn of events for Raj. He could have seen a light, if you want to call it that, a light from another heart, so brilliant, so bright, that it was very similar to the light that literally has taken his sight when he inadvertently shot those holes in Kyra's door and blinded himself and the others. So once again, I don't know what happened in the conversation, but it was one of those two things. And that's what this chapter is about. Either or. Does it mean this? Does it mean that? And so with that, thanks for listening, and I'll see you on the blog. Take care.